in the live stream. I don't have a mouse in the live stream. Well, I need a mouse for the live stream. I mean, not really. I have the mouse pad, but, I'd survive without it, but, you know, you can survive without cupcakes, but, cupcakes are good, you know? I mean, that's not a great analogy because, a mouse is actually useful to have, but, it's whatever. It's whatever. No? You say no? Okay. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. Doing the stuffs and the things in the live stream, talking about the stuffs and the things, and the stuffs and the things, yeah, in the live stream, because it's a live stream, and that's what we do in a live stream when we're live streaming. I actually got some videos up this week. I have been falling behind on my everythings lately, just because life. I don't really have much of another excuse because it is just trying to live life and take care of things and all that stuff. Content creation tends to take the back seat. I also just get discouraged when, we can advocate all we want and spread truth and facts about various topics. Speaking out against Christian nationalism, speaking out against oppression, speaking out against discrimination, and we still get steamrolled because the other side is louder. Isn't that great? It's like facts don't matter, and no matter how hard we fight, it seems like we keep losing, and it's discouraging and depressing, and it kind of takes it out of you after a while. It kind of makes you just not have quite the energy to do stuff and make videos. But we're here now. What's good? Hello. How can somebody be convinced if they don't want to be convinced? I mean, whether you believe something or not. All right, come on. Back up you go. There you go. Pardon me. Whether we are convinced of something or not has nothing to do with whether or not we want to be convinced. We don't get to choose what we believe. We are either convinced enough of something to warrant a belief, or we're not. That's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. So it doesn't matter, especially when we're talking about this all-powerful God being. Like, oh, Drew doesn't want to be convinced. Guess I can't convince him. It's like swiper, no swiping. Oh, man. He said no. He said he's not interested in learning about me, that he has no reason to believe in me. He just says he's not interested, so I guess I'll let him burn in hell for all of eternity. Do you believe in Satan? I do not. I don't believe in any supernatural whatever, personally. Hello. I should say hello. I always forget, because I open chat up on this computer, and I usually look at chat over here just because it's easier to see and read. And so I'll talk to chat here, even though you guys are over here. Hi, hello. I apologize. Hello. I do not watch Dancing with the Stars. Never been something I've been interested in. I watched American Idol when I was younger, but Dancing with the Stars was never really something I cared for. Not big with dancing. I just don't really care much for dancing, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but just not really my cup of tea. have seen clips of Robert Irwin on Dancing with the Stars. What do you think happens when you die? Where do you go? I think it depends on what you mean by me. My consciousness, my here, thinking, feeling, talking to you, consciousness of the mind seems to kind of be a result of chemical reactions in the brain. And when you die, those chemical reactions just kind of stop. So all those thoughts, memories, feelings, whatever, just kind of stop. So essentially, you, in that sense, cease to exist. And especially from your perspective, you just kind of cease to exist. But the rest of you, all the physical parts that are causing those reactions, all the physical parts of you, decay, decompose. I'm an organ donor, so hopefully my organs will go to someone who needs them. And yeah, the memory of me hopefully will live on in the minds of those who knew me and loved me. My influence on the world, however small, because we all leave a mark on the world. I like to bring up, I knew my grandfather. He has since passed away, but a good, not like a majority or whatever, but a good part of me comes from interacting with him, what I learned from him. He has had an impact on my life, and I carried that little piece of him. So when I'm interacting with somebody else, who I am is shaped by my experience and my life, which includes my grandfather. So even though you guys probably haven't met my grandfather, it's still a piece of him that I carry with me. And then when I interact with you, experiences shape us, even in tiny, minute ways. You now have a piece of me that includes a piece of my grandfather. So there's that little bit, just our memories, our influence being passed down. And yeah, I think that about covers it. My grandfather was not an atheist. Most people in my family, I don't know of anyone in my family who is an atheist. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're all
Can you technically say that she's true?
theistic. What?
Can you technically say that she's true?
Yeah, I was about to say, my sister, she believes in like something else, which isn't a God belief. I don't know if she believes in a God specifically, so she might be. If nothing else, she believes in something else. Taylor's cleaning.
Yes, I am. Don't mind me cleaning at like 9 o'clock at night. It's fine.
It's fine. But yeah, I think that would be the closest thing that I know of my family members to being an atheist. I don't know if I know my sister's not a Christian anymore, but I know she believes in like karma and things like that, but I don't know if she believes in like a specific God or of some sorts. Otherwise, yeah, they're all Christians to some capacity. As far as I know, at least. I mean, I guess I haven't specifically asked everyone. Just go around and interview everyone. Hey, what do you believe and why? Probably lead to some interesting conversations. Not all of which I want to have, because I don't see eye to eye with a lot of family members. Do you celebrate the holidays? Robert Irwin is my celebrity crush. He's not bad. The holidays, I assume you're thinking about, like Christmas and Easter. Yeah, I do. What's up? I do celebrate those, but more of the secular aspect. Hello. because we have definitely, regardless of origins, we definitely do have a kind of a secular version of Christmas and Easter and a Christian version. So I go with the secular version. Do you tell your daughter there is a God? I do not. Did you dress up for Halloween? I dressed up as a clown. So I did. Dressed up as a clown. My daughter was Snow White. Taylor was a devil. And we took our daughter around trick-or-treating and whatnot. Took her to see some family and then walked her around my parents' neighborhood. It was fun. It was my first time like going door to door trick-or-treating in like years since like I don't even know if I trick-or-treated in high school. But one thing I really missed was like seeing everybody's decorations. I love going to like I that was like my favorite part of trick-or-treating is just going and seeing how everyone decorated the outside of their house, especially those people who went really all out. So it was nice. Why not matching costumes? Just kind of didn't. Christmas was co-opted by Christians. History is a little bit fuzzy, but you can definitely have Christmas without the Christian aspect. If I ever had kids, I'm torn on whether or not to tell my child there is a God. I want there to be a God. I don't know 100% if there is, though. Yeah, you might just leave it out. Just not bring it up at all. And if somebody brings it up, like one of our family members started teaching our daughter without our permission about God, and I just kind of had to tell her, well, it's a story. Some people believe it. I don't know. I don't think it's real. As she gets older, I can explain more about, agnostic atheism and burden of proof and stuff like that. But, she's not older. So there's unfortunately not too much I can get into other than, like, there's stories that some people believe. I don't think they're real. I'm not trying to completely, crush and turn her away from any idea of there being something else. I want her to be able to someday come up with those concepts on her own. But she's just too young to really get into that. Were you always an atheist? No. I was a devout Christian for the first 20 plus years of my life. I actually lost my faith studying it to become an apologist. What you doing?
Trying to flatten this out.
Ah.
I think this is going to go on top of the table later.
Would be cool for parents to teach their children critical thinking skills. I'm going to try. Wherever my daughter ends up, I hope she gets there by using her brain. Wherever she ends up. You guys should read about the Orthodox Christian saints. Don't get caught up on the lame-ass Protestantism. I'm not really interested in, like, the denomination wars. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really interested in the whole, like, these weren't the right Christians. You need to find the right Christianity. I was raised Catholic, so I was taught to believe that the Protestants specifically, like, then we were taught that like all the other denominations were wrong or like flawed in some way, but specifically for some reason, I guess Catholics have a specific target on Protestantism. I don't know why. But yeah, no, I definitely wasn't taught to listen to the Protestant view of anything. Do you think Taylor is cool or nah? Be honest.
Do you think I'm cool?
She's aight.
That's all you ever say.
She's aight.
Y'all will never truly know, because that's all he ever says about
You'll
me.
never truly know. I mean, I think we just need more time to get.
I forgot how much these boots stink.
I think we just need more time to get to know each other. We've only been together, what, 14 years?
14 years?
Married 6.
Not enough time.
I haven't come to that final verdict yet, At one point in life, at one point in your life, did you believe in God and Jesus? Yes. I was a devout Christian, first 20 plus years of my life. Protestantism is a rock concert, and a TED Talk, and it pushed me away from Christ until I read The Lives of the Saints. I'm not a Protestant, blah, blah, anything. I'm only a child of God, Jesus Christ, coming soon. Cool.
We don't have a string on this, do we?
We didn't have a string on the other one, did we?
There's a string on this one, but there's not on this one. And the nail is too far in.
Can we add one?
I suppose, although it's kind of falling apart anyway.
And you just like thread some floss through or something, I guess.
Temporarily, I guess.
It's hidden by all the branches. Sorry, we're setting up fall decorations. We're taking down the Halloween decorations and setting up
Excuse
for
you.
fall.
I'm setting up.
We were supposed to do it over the next 2 days. You decided to start early and be salty about it.
Still, I am setting up.
Taylor is setting up for fall.
Give me credit, Dan.
Taylor is. I'll help at some point. I have to do the lights.
Take all of these lights
I have to
down.
take. We have string lights all around. I have to replace the Halloween ones with fall ones, and I have to take the ones down outside too.
Ooh, where you had the skeleton, we can now have pumpkins. On the door.
What did I have? Just okay. Yeah,
You had a string of skeletons.
Yeah.
Now we can put a string of pumpkins.
I like it. Sorry, forgive me, chat. If she really loved you, then she would let you date really attractive men. Man, what an interesting concept.
I don't share.
Okay.
You're a sad little okay.
Bro, what's your live content? What's my live content? It's a little all over the place. Mostly atheist activism, humanist activism, things like that. How's everybody doing? I'm doing alright. Will you always remain an atheist now for the rest of your life? I'm open to whatever. Taylor just wants to take you away from hanging with the lads on live. Maybe it is. Maybe she's hoping I'll just stop the live and help her decorate or something. 17-minute live, probably be my shortest.
Shortest record?
Shortest record. I broke 3 hours. That's my longest, was it?
Yeah.
I did a 3-hour
You
one.
did a 3-hour live.
What's that? In a nutshell, by my reckoning, the Protestants reject the papacy and any centralized governing authority within the faith, and the Catholics are like, nah, we need someone to keep us all on the same page. It's part of it, sure. You shave your underarms too? Nice. Armpit hair is gross. Like, I'm non-binary. And that's not even why I shave. You know, like some people would think like, oh, he's non-binary, you know, so he's like trans or whatever. So that's why like he's shaving his underarms to like be less masculine. I started shaving my underarms because underarm hair is gross. It's disgusting. It was just long and it would just get stink and deodorant just like wrapped up in it. And like I would scrub it as much as I could in the shower and it still just smelled. And I was like, why don't I just like shave this off? And I did. And it was a fantastic decision. Very happy with it. Would highly recommend. Whether you're gay, straight, cis, trans, doesn't even matter. Armpit hair is gross. My opinion. Oh, atheist. So you believe you are atheist, right? Okay, yeah. Likewise, you got to believe God. Jesus Christ coming soon, dear brother. I don't believe that. I need you to pay for my visa? No, I'm sorry. You don't want to come here right now anyway.
I know.
This country's not being nice to immigrants. It holds in the sweats. It does. And it was just gross. It was just gross. Do you believe in God? That's all I'm asking. I do not. What do you think happens when you pass? We don't need that. What do you think happens when you pass? I think the chemical reactions in your brain that cause consciousness and thought and things like that just kind of stop. All those chemical reactions cease. So from your perspective, you just kind of cease to exist. The rest of you decomposes. You know, if you're an organ donor, your organs might go to someone and live a little bit longer. Your memory gets passed on, your influence, your impact on the world, however big or small, gets passed on. And yeah. You like that the Spider-Man guy, what's his name? Peter Parker or Tom Holland. Do you think Jeebus appreciates... ma'am, I don't know what that is. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay. I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you ever watch videos live and react to them? I'm not really a reaction content creator. Just not really my cup of tea, honestly. What's the other option? Like, of placement? Like, if you put one there, are you going to put the other somewhere else? Or are we just choosing one?
On the coffee table, but we use it a lot, so maybe the thing in the dining room. Your shelf, third drawer thing. So first I was going to put this just over the coffee.
That one just kind of sucks, I'm going to be honest with you.
It sucks.
It can, you know what, it can work there. It's got a big enough surface, it can stay there. Sorry, hi. John 3:16.
We used it last time on our mantle. That's why it's all like folded and bent.
Yeah, I don't even know how it didn't fall most of the time. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, his one and only son, so whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Yeah, when God sacrificed himself to save the world from a system that he created and is completely responsible for, and that all went downhill with an incident in a garden that was 100% his fault. And just one big egotistical look at me, look at what I did for you, abusive relationship type thing. You know, I like when an abusive partner donates a kidney, and then they hold that over you. They're like, I donated a kidney for you. You can never leave me. Because I got that tactic all growing up. Like, especially in Catholic school, they had a crucifix like in every single room, and we had teachers who would point like, look at that bloody, beaten, mutilated man that we have on our kindergarten classroom. You know, all the grades. He suffered so much for you, and you're just gonna go do this thing and sin. Yeah, it's a big egotistical, manipulative display, and he didn't even sacrifice anything. Jesus is God, supposedly. Came down from heaven for about 30 years. Had a rough year or so, a couple months, however long his ministry was. Had a really rough couple of days. Died, and then a couple days later, he got back up like nothing happened. Just waltzed around, said hi to people, let someone stick their fingers in his wounds like it was a party trick, and then he skipped back up to heaven. He's fine. That's not a sacrifice. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not discounting the suffering that he might have gone through those last 2 days. But when he gets back up again and he's fine and like acts like nothing happened, it's not a sacrifice. Sorry, not sorry. Then do you believe that life came from non-life in terms of the universe? Seems like it. Far left progressive who defeated Cuomo for the New York City mayoral election. Oh, did he? Oh, sweet. He seems I haven't been following his story as much as I should, but he seems Do you think Tom Holland is hot? Tom Holland's a pretty good looking guy. I just watched a video about a Minecraft YouTuber whose life was saved by Jesus. Why not? You know, was it a good video? You know, was it at least a good testimony? Was he playing Minecraft while he was doing it? And just like having the voiceover in the background? I've wanted to do that sometimes in the past. Just like have a live stream where I'm just like playing Minecraft and interacting with chat. Just like casually playing Minecraft or something. Jesus Christ loves you, brother. Cool. How was the fall God's fault? So God created Adam and Eve, did not give them the knowledge of good and evil, put that knowledge in a fruit and said, don't touch that fruit. And then he walks away and leaves them alone with this serpent, this great tempter, who he also put in the garden with his naive new creation. The tempter tempts them, and since they do not have the knowledge of good and evil that would inform their decision and help them make the right moral judgment, they eat the fruit. Because this great deceiver, like the greatest deceiver ever against his naive new creation, all while he isn't around, this omnipresent God isn't around, or like is just sitting back watching with a bowl of popcorn and just lets it happen, knowing that it was going to happen anyway. And so then his naive new creation is obviously tricked into eating this fruit, and then he gets mad and curses them forever. It's completely his fault. Especially when God created everything and he knew how everything was going to play out. Everything is his fault. He creates good, evil. Everything exists because of him. Everything is his fault, good and bad. So the fall is 100% his fault. If the so-loving God watches all this suffering and stands right there and sometimes orders the suffering, I will stand against him even if I go to heaven. Yeah. Coming back to life means the only one who has authority. God alone has it. Cool. He still wasn't a sacrifice. Mamdani is friends with religious radicals who think LGBT should be met with death penalty. See, this is why I need to follow this story a little bit more often, because I don't even know. Both two of you have said something about this dude, and I don't know if either of them is correct. So maybe he's an awful person. Maybe I should pay attention to. There's a lot going on in politics. It's hard to keep up on all of it, and I have not been paying attention to that plot line. What to do if your girlfriend starts smoking? Slow down a little bit. Okay. We don't really need that. We don't really need that, buddy. We don't need that kind of. He himself supports LGBT and he is close friends with Islamic radicals. Both are correct. Fascinating. I mean, I'm close friends with Christians, including pro-life Christians. I have family that I'm positive voted for Trump. To each their own, I guess. Which maybe that's a fault on my part, you know. You voted for someone who is against my existence. Maybe I shouldn't be, like, buddy-buddy with you. But, like, family and friends, you know? I'm not a confrontational person. Especially, like, with people I actually care about. I would like not to lose any more loved ones, if I can avoid it. Just me personally. If God doesn't exist, don't you think everything around you is an accident? Or your life is an accident? Accidents might not be the word that I use, just a result of natural processes in the universe. Not all of which we understand, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to have been from a God. I mean, I don't even know if it could have worked out. I don't know if the universe could have worked in any different way, or there could have been any different outcome where we didn't come to be. We don't have other universes or other possibilities to really compare to. So it seems like this was just possibly an inevitable thing that the universe would eventually do. And so it eventually did it. You know? This is a result of natural processes in the universe. He's a Muslim and he gets hate from MAGA folks that say all kinds of terrible things. The long and short of it is a Bernie Sanders AOC type leftist has beat a traditional Democrat in a big race. Interesting. More fall things? We had a smaller house. I feel like We've kind of stretched out our square footage a little bit with this house. No problem with people who respectfully disagree with LGBT. No problem with people who respectfully disagree with LGBT. Yeah, as long as like they're not going too far with it. God could exist, but he would not be the same person as in the books. Oh yeah, I really the more specific you get with a God and trying to argue with for the existence of a God, the harder it is to defend that stance. Like the God of the Bible, as depicted in the Bible, I really strongly believe does not exist. You know, the creation account doesn't match what we know scientifically how things got here. The flood didn't happen. The exodus from Egypt didn't happen. So like already there's holes in the book that don't work. So if it's a thing where like everything in the Bible has to be God's perfect word and perfect inspired word, or you know, or not, it's, I don't know, doesn't look like it. The more specific, the best arguments, if you want to argue for the existence of a God, you're going to have the best luck arguing for just like something else out there, a God being of sorts. The more specific you get, the harder time you're going to have arguing for his existence. God is good, God is great, sure. Having a problem with those who believe it should be punished. Have a problem with those who believe it should be punished by unaliving them. I can agree. Like, I obviously have some strong feelings about Christianity. I will never sit here and advocate for, like, outlawing Christianity or anything like that. I would never seek anything like that. Kitten. Kitten. Smokey. Hi. Hi. Taylor's taking apart a coffin that we have up for Halloween, and Smokey, seeing an open box, hops right in. Just right in it. Is that where you're going to lay in my casket, Kitten? Just right at my feet?
I don't even think you can fit in it.
No, I can't fit in that one.
But I think I can.
No, I think I can barely fit in it. I think it's like just tall enough for me.
It is.
I thought it was. We tested it.
No, Jerry couldn't even fit in it.
Yes, it could. Jerry could just barely fit in it.
Exactly. No, you would not fit.
Yeah.
I fit.
Yeah. I think I'd be
Here's my
about 6 inches off.
my funeral.
Nice. You see how she jumps out when it's your coffin?
Yeah. Who has she constantly been lying on lately?
Who does she usually sleep with at night?
She's been snuggling up to me.
Because I kick too much and I move around too much. How is your sinning God's fault? Adam and Eve simply sinned by disobeying God. God didn't force anyone to sin. He set it up to where there was no other alternative. There was no way that they would not have been tempted to sin. Also, if we are perfect, then we can be right with God. How come you're not trying to be perfect? I don't really care about being right with your God. I don't even believe he exists. Why do you love Halloween shirts? I feel like you're always wearing one because I love Halloween. And I usually am always wearing one. I have bought enough Halloween shirts specifically for that purpose to where I can ideally wear one every single day. Christians should support abortion because in your case, the parents are giving them eternal life without the world suffering. Maybe that's a morbid argument, but yeah. I do get Christians defending God murdering however many babies in the Bible by saying, oh well, they went straight to heaven. Okay, sure. What's the best Roman invention? Couldn't tell you. Kitten. Kitty, kitty. Smokey. Straight roads. They did have solid architecture. No mixed. No mixed. That's bad. We don't put that stuff. It's not appropriate. But yeah, their architecture, I guess, was solid.
Do your life count towards your watch hours?
I don't know if it counts when it's live, but if somebody goes and rewatches it once it's a video, it definitely counts. But I don't think the lives, watching lives themselves count. I could be wrong. I mean, not that I get very many views in these anyway. I've met many people who were suicidal and then found Jesus and were content and happy. How does that work if you think God doesn't exist? I was a lot more suicidal when I was a Christian. Yeah, becoming an atheist, leaving Christianity, really helped my mental health and got me out of that hole. It's been... I mean, because I have this actually written down in my notes, because I think it's a cool little milestone. Yeah, I'm nearing 3 years, probably like 2 3/4 years since the last time I legitimately considered taking my own life. And my record prior to that was 3 years, which was like right before the last time. When I was younger and when I was a Christian, it was regularly. it was daily, if not weekly. It was regularly. And you can explain it because some things work better for people than other things. Some people find their thing. Some people believe in Christianity and believe, oh, now I'm saved and I have this being looking out for me who loves me. And that can be very uplifting for some people. Different things help with different people's mental health, but that does not mean that therefore this one thing that works for these people's mental health therefore must be great and true and amazing across the board. That's not how it works. I saw you last day in a coffee shop, dude. I don't drink coffee, so like you're already lost. Christians should be gender abolitionists, according to Galatians 3:28. What's that one? Gender abolitionists. I gotta look that up. Oh, there it is. 3:28, you said? There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Jesus Christ. You know what? Yeah. You know, I can kind of see it. Not gonna lie, I can kind of see it. Wait, you don't believe in the first law of thermodynamics? That is a force omniscient, immortal, and only transforms. That a force is omniscient, immortal, and only transforms. So, those laws, the laws of physics, only apply within the known universe. That started with the Great Expansion, or Big Bang, or however else. We have no idea what was before the universe, or how it worked, or anything like that. So, I can't even speak to what there was before the universe. We can see how the Big Bang or the Great Expansion happened, and then atoms did things and combined to do other things and do more things and make more molecules and more elements and stuff to make more things and do more things that eventually led to us. But as far as what happened before, we're completely blind to it. We have no idea.
So for comparison,
What do you think he says the light? What light?
we have, once we get all the rest of the Halloween stuff down, we'll have 4 boxes of Halloween. But we only have 1 box of fall.
Makes sense. Yeah. Whatever works for people's mental health, mixed. I think you were taught a false gospel when you were young. That's why you hated it. If they were pushing works, then it's false. First off, that's kind of like the no true Scotsman fallacy. Like, oh, you were just like the wrong type of Christian. You weren't a true Christian. You weren't taught the right stuff. And I'm not here for denomination wars, for thousands of different denominations to point fingers at each other and say that their other guy is wrong. I'm not really interested in it. I didn't hate it growing up. I loved it very much. Was dedicated to Christ all growing up. Lost my faith studying to become an apologist so that I could better spread and defend my faith. So just incorrect on all counts. You gay? I'm pansexual. Why gays like the devil? Because Christians don't. Satan, to me, has become more of a symbol of freedom from religion and freedom from the oppression of religion. That's why I kind of vibe with the idea of him, at least. God is energy, bro. Think about it. I'm thinking, and don't know. Are you streaming on another platform too? I am not. I've thought about it, but I just don't really know where else I would go. The only other platform I've streamed on is TikTok, and I just hate how much you have to censor your speech on that, like to a ridiculous extent. Otherwise, you lose live privileges for not even saying anything bad or wrong. It's completely ridiculous. I like just being able to speak and allowing my guests to speak and actually just have open conversations. But I would like to start trying to go live on other platforms just to reach a broader audience and things like that. I just don't know where else there would be. I know Instagram does lives, but I have no idea how those work. So, I don't know. When I was a Christian, I thought Satan church worships Lucifer. I thought the Church of Satan worshiped Lucifer, but not they actually stand for love more than Christians. Yeah. The name is the problem. What name? All that matters about Christianity is Jesus' death and resurrection. Okay. All that matters to Jesus is us. If you say so. If you say so. Do I even have the right live number? I always get paranoid about that. It's 70. I always get paranoid about that. I've been meaning to check it throughout this. One of these days, it's going to happen, and I'm not upset about it. One of these days, I'm just going to put like the completely wrong live number in, and it's going to be great. You want to date Robert Irwin? I feel like you'd have to get in line. I feel like there's a lot of people who would love to date Robert Irwin. What can you do? Do you have any archaeological evidence that disproves the Bible? Is there a reason that was a very oddly specific question. The severe lack of any evidence that the Israelites were ever enslaved in Egypt to begin with. Just the vast lack of any evidence that they were even there, kind of disproves the whole Exodus story. Severe lack of evidence, archaeological and otherwise, for a great flood. That kind of disproves the global flood thing. So, think he is gay? Maybe. As a Christian, I would like to say that I appreciate you actually going out there and listening to people's thoughts instead of just ignoring. Even if I disagree with you, respect. I try. I really do. Kitten? Hey, kitten. Hi. Hi.
She's saying hi to the people.
You say, oh, not really. She's showing them her butt.
That's not the right kind of account for this kitty.
That's for the other platform. The lack of evidence isn't evidence. It is, though, when you want to say that an entire civilization of people lived in this area, where we find archaeological evidence of people having lived there, and we see nothing from them. Yeah. When you would see something, if this thing happened in the archaeological records, and you don't see any of that, especially when we don't have any evidence for to begin with, it's, maybe disproving is a strong word, but it's definitely solid evidence against. Definitely. The problem as a Christian is that we tend to stop thinking and start accepting as it is. When you try to read it without being biased, your mindset changes. Something that helped me become an atheist was an honest read through of the Bible. Just honestly reading through it, seeing what it was, and learning about it. The craziest stuff in that book will always be Noah's boat holding thousands and thousands of animals that repopulated entire species with a single mating pair. Yeah. Or someone mentions, I see a post going around the social medias every now and then of, man, it was really cool that all of the carnivores waited for all of their prey to reproduce before just eating them. Like, that was pretty cool. Especially because I'm pretty sure there are some carnivores out there that can't eat grass, that can't properly digest it, or vegetation or anything, so they wouldn't really be able to survive at least completely on vegetation. The whole Noah's Ark story. And then God looks at this family, these 8 people, and says, repopulate the earth, do incest, and just get it going. Just get it going. In fairness, it did take 100 years to build. It did take 100 years to build. It was a very, very big boat. All right, it was huge. It was so big, and all those animals. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. It really is just the dumbest story. When you really try to stop and think about it for 2 seconds. What are you doing? Snickers is being crazy down the hallway. Snickers. What are you doing? story of Job made me hate God because it was just a bet between God and Satan. Yeah, Job got fucked. And then, like, after he's, like, sitting there depressed and, like, his friends are, like, trying to help him whatever way he can, God gets pissed off and comes and tells him off, like, you think you know better than me? And then Job makes sacrifices and God, blesses him, whatever. And people will say, well, since Job passed the test, God gave him more than what he lost. He lost humans. He lost humans, children. Children aren't property. You're not gonna, you can't just give me another car that looks like my car if you wreck my car. Like, you can, but, like, you can't do that when it's people. If I lost my daughter, I lost my daughter. If I have more kids after that, great. I still lost my daughter. She's not property. She's not a car that you can just replace.
Why is this in here?
Backdrop. No.
I don't like it like that.
No, because then it's going to fall.
It'll be fine.
No.
It'll be fine.
Taylor coming in here ruining the aesthetic. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's almost like I tried messing with this before stream and it didn't work. All right, Taylor ruined the background. Single mating pair brought all animals back. The English royal family couldn't even do that for more than a few years without comical birth defects.
Did you turn on your
Yeah,
all?
always do.
You have top chat on there.
Oh, that's right. I just reset this. Job was intentionally written as a mythical, like a Homeric epic. People would think you are cuckoo if you confused the story as evidence. Myths are part of all the cultures. Torah, Bible, Quran are no exceptions. Yeah, but there are some people who believe that everything in the Bible actually happened.
There's a comment I was surprised
And
you still have up there.
And even if it was meant to just be like a cautionary tale or whatever, it's still a fucked up cautionary tale. It's still fucked up regardless. So you ever wonder why Peter was crucified upside down, defending the resurrection? What about Peter? Why does that matter? How do you account for morality under materialism? Humans figured out systems of morals and ethics as we learned how to deal with one another and work together for the betterment of a society and the people within a society, including ourselves. And it was more advantageous for our survival to work together and to cooperate and be good to people. And that system kind of evolved over time. Was your wife ever a Christian? Just wondering. Yes, she was. This boat was half the size of Texas. It had miles of bronze freshwater tanks filled with Egyptian tears. It had 750 million tins of dried meat and berries. It had 2 Starbucks. Yeah, man, it was packed. God had it taken care of. I think atheists misunderstand Scripture. They read it in a modernist lens, like many Protestants. We're still attacking Protestants. I think a lot of Christians have wrong interpretations, including, as you kind of just hinted at, different Christians having different understandings, and everyone just pointing fingers saying, they're wrong and I'm right. From a perspective of an atheist, yeah, Noah's Ark is pretty stupid, but biblically anything is possible by God. Fair. Bro, I'm telling you, Hebrews, Sikhs, Muslims, Christians, Shintos, or Hindu all say God is the light. Read it again as science poetry. They didn't gatekeep morals for thousands of years. Read it again as science poetry. They didn't gatekeep morals for 1,000 years. I don't know what you're saying. And yeah, because a lot of religions that have gods paint their god as something good. So it makes sense if they all say that it is light to some extent. And I don't even know if that's accurate. I haven't fact checked. I don't know what you're talking about, gatekeeping morals. It doesn't get past the is-ought problem. What do you mean? Look up the biggest ships Roman and Egyptians built, and you'll eat your words. I bet they had some pretty big boats. A code of ethics and morals serves two purposes. It keeps a population submissive and orderly. It can be used to show the benevolent nature of a leader. Those can be parts of it. If someone who made up the resurrection, aka Peter or the other apostles, like some people think, then why would they die for a resurrection they made up? It isn't logical. You're assuming too much of the Bible is fact. We really don't, we don't even know what happened to the apostles. We can't even fully confirm how many of the apostles actually existed to begin with. We can't confirm how much of the story is based on fact and how much of it is fiction. So we don't even know if there was a resurrection, or if there was, why they believed there was a resurrection. There are people alive today and who have been alive throughout the years who've believed in crazy things and given their lives for crazy things that nobody else would believe. So the fact that they were willing to die, again, we still don't even know. There's so much that we don't know. There's so much that you're just assuming is correct about the narrative that we just can't really assume. So I'm new to these streams. Why did you leave Christianity? I dove into my studies to try to strengthen my faith, to try to become an apologist, to spread and defend my faith. And the more I looked into it, the more I disagreed with Christianity, thought that it was harmful, and the more I realized there was no reason to believe any of it. It had no solid, good evidence, any of the supernatural claims at least. What's good, Drew? How you been? I've been aight. All of this Bible is fact. It never contradicts itself. Okay. So, when Jesus is on the cross, were both of the thieves on either side of him mean to him? Or both of the criminals? I think they were thieves, but both of the criminals, were they both mean to him? Or was one of them mean and one of them nice? To be sure, you can write off all the bullshit as allegory, but you can't run from virgin birth impossible, a dead man rising impossible, a God that threatens damnation for not being convinced lies. As far as we know, there's no reason to believe this stuff. Why ought we cooperate with others? Your account of morality only explains how it came about under naturalism. Is ought problem. Why ought we cooperate? If you want to go off by yourself in the wilderness and try to survive by yourself, good luck. It's a lot easier to cooperate with human beings and work together for the betterment of a society and the people in the society, including yourself. It's more advantageous and you have a better chance of survival. And since you have a better chance of survival, you have a better chance of reproducing, and your offspring have a better chance of survival if they're also in that society that you helped set up and take care of. Why is it harmful in your opinion? Christianity? A lot of reasons. Psychological manipulation, the bloodshed that it has caused quite a bit of in the past, misogyny, child abuse, things that it endorses. Slavery it endorsed for a while. For the longest time here in the U.S., people used Christianity, the Bible, to support slavery, to name a few. I'm an atheist because I can think, maybe. I mean, I'm a Christian, but you can't fact-check the Bible in its entirety. It's a totally valid argument to question parts of it because outside of faith, we can't respond to plenty of it. Yeah. The Bible's just kind of a lot anyway. Say hi to the people. Look at them. Look at the people.
I'm too busy looking at me.
Kitten.
I'm really gonna need you to not step on my stomach right now, Kitty.
We absolutely do know what happened to the apostles' kids. They're called the Waldensons, and the Catholic Church hunted them for 700 years. They lived in the valleys. The Bible is older KJV. Interesting. One asked to go into heaven with Jesus, and the other mocked him. Okay. There are some accounts of the Gospels where they both mocked him. So there's a contradiction. It would be more advantageous to be utterly selfish. It wouldn't. Why reproduce at all if there is nothing after this life? Well, I mean, first off, you're asking why should we add to this life if this life is all that there is? And that question doesn't make sense at all to me. Why, if this life is all there is, why wouldn't you try to add to it? Second, reproduction drives evolution. It's just what keeps it going. And those that don't reproduce or don't want to reproduce don't pass on their genetics. And so the genetics and the ideas that get passed on and that survive is those that promote reproduction. So that's just kind of biology. It's just kind of what drives evolution is reproduction. Beings reproduce. Wasn't King James gay? Probably. I don't know. I will probably end the live stream soon, just a heads up. It would not be more advantageous to be selfish. Humans are only here because of collaboration. Selfishness kills out a species. Yeah. Could you name the verses in the Gospels where the thieves both mocked Jesus? I want to look into it. I think it's all of the Gospel accounts except for John, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to look that up right now, but just look at the crucifixion. Just find the crucifixion in the Gospels and read where it talks about the criminals. I don't know if it mentions them in every single one of the Gospels, but I know there's at least a couple Gospels. I think at least a couple have them both mocking, and I think it's John, because John just goes off the rails with the story. Has them one mocking and one not. But we only have our experiences, so other people's lives don't matter under materialism. It's not true. I mean, I don't know how many more times we can explain how human cooperation is important. And everyone else is a human being just like you, so if you matter, it makes sense that they matter. Empathy is something that evolved with humanity as well. It's a part of our survival, our ability to survive and work together. Those who had more empathy and worked better together had a better chance of surviving and having offspring and passing those traits down to the offspring. That's evolution. Heck yeah, people use Christianity to justify the most messed up stuff in history. But I don't understand how just because people use it for evil does not mean it's bad. Yes, but when the book itself specifically says that you can beat your slaves so long as they don't die, you can beat them with a rod specifically, so long as they don't die within a couple of days. But if they die after a couple of days, it's fine because they're your property anyway. Can't be on board with that. Can't be on board with that. I saw somewhere that he had a male lover. It would not surprise me. What is the meaning of life if we are all just inherently worthless clumps of cells? The meaning of life is whatever we make it to be. There is no objective meaning that we have to follow. The objective meaning of life is life. And the meaning is whatever meaning we give it. Matthew and Mark both thieves mock him, and Luke 1 doesn't. Thank you, Leo. Matthew and Mark. So do they mention it in John at all? Are the thieves mentioned in John?
John doesn't even mention the thieves.
John does not mention the thieves?
That's what Elliot just said.
John does not mention the thieves. Okay, I'm sorry. Matthew and Mark, they both mock him. Luke 1 doesn't. It's been a minute since I've read the Gospels. I gotta go through those again. Why would these species matter under materialism? The world is over when my experience ends. Nothing else matters except my experience. So why is hedonism not the highest priority? Because this whole selfish, every man for themselves, don't care about anyone else, don't care about having kids doesn't pass down your traits. You're not going to have kids, so there's not going to be as many people running around with that mindset, with those traits, with that
Think
with
of
the
it
traits.
this way: it would not be more advantageous to be selfish because, I mean, you don't know everything. There are going to be people out there who know things that you don't know, things that might help you out later on. So it would be advantageous to work with those people so that you don't die.
Yeah. Do you want to live out in the woods and hunt, cook, build, make clothes, make fire, gather resources, defend your home, all of that by yourself? Some people can do it, and all power to them, but
It would be
Or
more
you could just
advantageous to work with someone.
work in a society. I don't have to go and hunt for food. I can go and buy food from somebody else who bought it from somebody else who bought it from somebody else who hunted the food. Somebody else can hunt it. It gets a little bit more stretched out and fuzzy when you get into like a big society like the countries that we have today, but it is still a basic concept of somebody is baking, someone is making clothes, somebody is fishing, somebody is hunting, somebody is making materials, someone is building houses, all of those things. It's still the same basic concept of just working together for a society. How does one know if they are non-binary or not? You just kind of know. It's just how you feel and who you are on the inside. I've just never really felt like a man on the inside or a woman, so non-binary. It's nobody's going to know that. No one's going to know the answer to that question better than yourself. You've been with your wife 14 years. Did that mean she was around for the deconstruction phase?
Yep. Yes, I was. I was also around for the freaking preacher Christian Drew phase.
She was around for the preachy Christian Drew phase.
I've been around for it all.
Pretty great.
I left Christianity before he did. He very much tried to get me back.
I did.
Didn't work.
Glad it didn't work. It was great.
I just waited for you to figure it out.
Taylor, have you ever dated a woman?
He's been the only one I've been with. So.
Yeah, I'm the only one she's ever dated. So, that'd be it. So it's advantageous to help others if they help you. Sounds like hedonism. Maybe. We also just have this empathy and stuff passed down that just makes us more helpful and kind in general, because those types of people were probably more likely to work better with people in a society and had more of a chance of survival. I think that one of the thieves mocking Jesus and then realizing who he and asking to join him in heaven is not a contradiction. Does it say that though? Does it say that though? She stuck around for that. No wonder you married her. She should have left me so many times in the past, and she did twice early on, but she still wanted to be with me for some reason. I don't know.
And you still doubt that I love you sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor, what made you leave Christianity? No? Okay.
I mean...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot. It's all right.
I mean... Just look at it.
Just look at it, she said. She was not impressed.
I was not. From the get-go, it just was. I'm like, something's not right.
Taylor, give us a Drew speech when he tried to bring you back.
Taylor gives us a Drew speech.
Oh, and tried to... It wasn't... I don't really think I ever
Give
did
us.
preaching.
Huh?
It was
Taylor, give us a Drew speech when he tried to. So, like, something he was saying to me? Like,
what speeches did I? The doors unlocked. What speeches did I give you to like try to get you to come back? I don't really think I did. I think it was more like poking and shuffling.
you did try to poke and shove. You didn't do as much of the preaching to me.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure I had some.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that was also a while ago, so.
Do you think atheism has anything to do with plummeting birth rates? No, but the shittiness of the world and especially the country, and the fact that women just lost human rights to their bodies, probably has a good chunk to do with it. Not wanting to bring kids into this shitty, terrible world. We're not wanting to risk pregnancies in a world where you can't have an abortion, at least in many states, at least in the country, in the U.S. You should go to a church again and hear the Gospels. It might teach you more. I mean, I listen to the Gospels on an audiobook on a pretty regular basis. Again, it's been a few months. And I have a fleeting memory. You know, if I don't use something regularly, like, I remember reading through the Gospels recently or listening to the Gospels recently and making that note of, you know, what the criminal said. But I haven't used it in a minute, so it's the memory, it's the long-term memory in Inside Out, in the Inside Out movie. When I don't use a memory, it fades and then it gets tossed into the dump, and mine works very, very quickly, unfortunately. It's very hard for me to learn. There's a lot to learn when it comes to this type of stuff, talking about Christianity and religions and whatnot. In my brain, I'm just like trying to hold it all, and it just all keeps leaking and spilling out. It sucks. I would like to go to like other churches because I've only ever been to a Catholic mass. I would love to go to some other churches and see how their masses, just to learn about other denominations, just, you know, observation purposes. Why are birth rates not higher in Scandinavian countries then? I have no idea what's going on in Scandinavia. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no idea. There could be 1,000,001 different factors that could answer that question. I think maybe like 15% has to do with people moving on from traditional values. That might be part of it too. I mean, you should hear a sermon about Jesus in a church. I have a number of times, including online sermons that have been posted online from non-Catholic churches. I've listened to some of those. Why do you still talk about Christianity if you're an atheist? Because I think it's harmful nonsense that should be spoken out against and stood against. And if you'd like to know more of the why, just look at the rest of the videos on my channel. That's what the channel is mostly about, just explaining the whys on that. With that, it is time for me to go ahead and end this stream. Went a little bit shorter tonight. I kind of just want a chance to chill. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm tired. But thank you all so much. Yes, I will, marked. Mixed. I will ignore that. Thank you so much, honestly, everyone, for being here. For engaging, for liking, all of that stuff. I'm always grateful to anyone who gives me even a second of their time to stop by for a second. So, especially you guys sitting here. We had some good conversations, really good interactive chat. I didn't really have any big quiet moments where like I had to like, you know, chat wasn't moving, so I had to like try to come up with something. So thank you all so much, truly, for being here.
Nick says boo.
I know. I usually go live every Tuesday night at about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, as well as some other live streams throughout the week if I can. I usually can't, but, you know, I try. And I hope to see you all there. Hope to see you all later. Feel free to subscribe or whatever, or don't. I'm just happy that you're here. Honestly, it's pretty cool. So, thank you for being here. Don't move the stool. Don't move the stool. Thank you all so much for being here. Truly. Bye. I missed the button.